Okay, so this is almost the last chapter of The Slight Edge, and I'll go on into chapter 13, which is the final chapter. If you haven't got a pen and something to write on, you might want to get one, because some of this is going to be sort of slightly interactive, or at least some exercises where you might want to write down your answers. So the chapter starts with a story about a famous American football coach who was talking to some teams of American football players about how to play better. And he started off with, "Gentlemen, this is a football." And the point of that is you have to start somewhere, or with something, and starting with a beginner's mind, starting from the very beginning, is always helpful. So starting to explain the tactics of American football with "this is a football" perhaps takes you back to the very beginning. And we need some humility and fresh inquiry in order to make a start, and start with that single step that leads to the 1,000-mile journey of the rest of our lives. So what will you start with? What will be your first step? So I'm going to go through, as it does in the book, 4 or 5 parts of our lives in order to think about our goals and our first steps in each of those areas. So start off with the slight edge and how it applies to your health. So what are your dreams for your health? And please write anything down, and be as specific and as vivid as you can, and with some sort of timeline, because this is the starting point, and we've talked about this in previous chapters. And then what's the price you're willing to pay for that? You might need to give some things up, change your priorities in order to reach that goal. And I think it was last week we were talking about having a plan to start, because and that actually you need a plan in order to start, but you don't expect the plan to stay the same. It's the starting that matters, because then you adjust your plan as you go along. So do you have a plan to start to achieve your health dreams? And in terms of that starting, is there one simple daily discipline that is going to help you to get there? And feel free to write down more than one, but the main intent is to have at least one. Okay, so we'll go on to the next area, which is the slight edge applied to your personal development. And everyone who's made it to this training is clearly focused on that to at least some extent, because that's what trainings are about. So this is going to get slightly repetitive. What are your dreams for your personal development, your self-development? And what price are you willing to pay for that? Those of you who don't already are you willing to get up and come to our 5 a.m. training every morning? It's definitely made a difference to me. And in terms of a plan to start, is there one simple daily discipline that you're willing to do? I think the slight edge suggests you might like to read 10 pages of a self-improvement book or that sort of thing every day. So here's the next one, relationships. Whether they're a one-to-one partnership type relationship or friends, family, whatever relationship means for you. Whatever comes to the top of your mind thinking of relationships. And what are your dreams for that? What would you pay to achieve those dreams? And what's your plan to start, and the one simple daily discipline that you are willing to do in order to improve your relationships? Okay, we'll go on to the next one. Finances, which is very relevant to our business and why we're all here together. So, what are your dreams for your finances? And what's your price that you're willing to pay? And your plan to start? And one simple daily discipline. Gerald, could you try to stay muted while during this? No, thank you. So one simple daily discipline. I suspect many on this call have got several related to our business. And then the slight edge and your life, your plans for what you would like in life, hopes, dreams, ambitions, etc., etc. And maybe your picture is not quite the same as the ones I've got up here. So what are your dreams for your life? And what price could you pay to achieve that? And plan to start, and a simple daily discipline. Okay, we'll come back to those after the presentation's finished, but I'll go on and go through the where do we go from here, which is chapter 13 and the summary of the slight edge. So early in the book, it says, someday when I have the time, I'm going to do this. And someday when I have the time, have the money, I'm going to do that. And it also shows the graph at the bottom of the 5% of people who do the steps that will get them to where they want to go. And that leads them on the success curve, and the 95% who don't do those steps. And that leads on the failure curve. So do you want to be on this success curve where you actually start and take the steps, or do you want to carry on with life as it is and let it take you where it's going? So if we do one simple daily discipline in each of those 5 areas of our lives, then that's going to move us forward in our lives, in all the key aspects of our lives. And maybe you can think of other key aspects that are more important to you, in which case to add those in. And we've identified initial key steps that would help us to get there. And basically it's about just do it. Make the decision to start, make the decision to do those steps, even if it's you choose the one of those goals in the different areas that's most important, and one step you could do every day, and start that, and maintain the start the process going, and maintain the momentum that will give you, and make it a habit. And making it a habit, it's helpful to do some sort of daily review of what you're doing, in terms of am I actually taking those steps that I've committed to? Are they still the right steps for me? Do I want to change them? Am I going to add in some more things that I'm going to do? And that review can be by yourself with a journal, talking to someone, talking to a slight edge buddy maybe, or a coach, but doing some sort of review to be sure that we're keeping on track. So the next one is to spend high quality time with successful people. I think that is last week's team call, taken from what Anthony kindly posted on the group. So we have plenty of opportunities to spend time with successful people. You may have groups of successful people outside of this business that you want to spend time with, but it will motivate us to do the things that successful people do by spending time with them, and help us stay on track. And so successful people do what the unsuccessful people aren't willing to do. They don't look for shortcuts. They don't blame either circumstances or other people. It's about personal responsibility. And they actually do practice the daily disciplines that are assured to take us to our final destinations, or wherever it is that we want to go. And what that destination is likely to change over time as we get more and more success in managing to achieve what we set out to achieve. So successful people know that slow and steady wins the race. So just sticking every day with the things, the small things, the small changes that we've decided that we're going to make will get us there. Having a focus on a positive outlook will help us getting there. And the more we do it, we'll build up momentum. And in the process, we'll acquire the knowledge we need to succeed. And successful people ask, who am I spending my time with? And if necessary, change that. They read at least 10 pages of a powerful book each day, or attend the 5 a.m. and listen or watch the equivalent. Work on philosophy first. And that leads into understanding that we can increase our success by doubling our rate of failure. And definitely relevant to this business in terms of to go for the no's. The more no's we get, the more success we will have, because it will increase our rate of getting yeses. So I'll finish on the overall illustration of the slight edge, where on our success curve, we're talking about simple disciplines that we can make consistently over time. They are easy to do. They're also easy not to do, but that will take us down the failure curve. Our simple disciplines that will lead us to success will feel uncomfortable early on, but if we do them repeatedly over time, they'll become habits and they'll become comfortable to do. In fact, it will feel uncomfortable not to do them eventually. And it all starts with philosophy, which leads to action, to attitude, which leads to actions, which leads to results. And yeah, perhaps it's about taking personal responsibility and discipline, and it's being driven by our values, by what our ultimate goals are, and it will ultimately improve our lifestyle and every area of our lives that we're concerned about, that we have an interest in. And I'm not going to focus on the 95% failure part of that curve, because that's not where we're going. Okay, so I will.
Jill, sorry, could you leave that up, please, so we can discuss around it, because it's quite relevant.
Yes, I will indeed. I will.
Thank you.
Share it again.
And then stop the recording as well. I want people to feel free that they can say anything and know that it's not being recorded and going to be held against you.
Actually,
so we're not going to come back and say, by the way, you said.